Before we talk this evening about space and about strategy, competition, and technology, I want to begin with something deeper, something older than policy and larger than politics. It is the idea that America is not just a country on a map, but a nation of noble destiny, a place built on the belief that free people, guided by faith, courage, and creativity, can shape the future rather than be shaped by it. The spirit that carried pioneers across the continent and carried astronauts to the moon, is still alive. It is the foundation of everything we're about to discuss. And it matters now more than ever because the United States is entering a civilizational turning point. China is rapidly expanding its industrial base, increasing overall coal output and investing heavily in space infrastructure with the explicit goal of securing long-term control over the moon, cislunar space, and the orbital lanes that will govern the next century. This is not a competition for prestige. It is a contest for the commanding heights of human civilization. Whoever builds the energy systems, logistics, networks, and industrial platforms in space will shape the conditions of life on Earth. To understand this moment, we have to understand the power of strategic narrative, the stories nations tell themselves about who they are and what they're capable of. The American founding ethos, the independence of the individual, the dignity of work, and the belief that free people can shape history remains the engine of our national resilience. In an age where AI and centralizing forces threaten human agency, this ethos is not nostalgia, it is strategic necessity. This brings me to a framework I call Cphus, the Space Endeavor Federation of the United States. Cphus is a union of nations aligned around a single purpose, America's noble leadership in space. It is not a new bureaucracy. It is a coalition, a concord of the cosmos, a way of mobilizing capital, industry, and innovation at the scale required to meet China's long-term strategy. Cphus becomes the domestic backbone of a broader federation of aligned nations here on Earth, who will likewise be committed to the same values and tenets of liberty, openness, and human dignity. Now, there is a deeper symbolic layer here. The name Cphus is a deliberate transliteration of Cephus, the Aramaic name Jesus gave to Peter, meaning the rock. In the biblical story, that name marked the foundation on which a new community would be built. In the modern sense, Cphus is envisioned as a new rock for the future of civilization, a stable foundation that brings nations together not for war, but for peace, progress, and shared responsibility for the next frontier. It reflects the idea that unity and strength are tools for human flourishing. A key component of this future is space-based solar power, the only scalable, continuous, zero-carbon energy source capable of powering a global civilization without geopolitical choke points. Climate stability will not come from small regulatory changes. It will come from building the systems that actually matter: resilient grids, advanced materials, orbital infrastructure, and space-based energy, to name a few. We also have to rethink capital. That means long-term investment pools among these participating nations in Cphus, and even the possibility, I dream, of a value-indexed US dollar tied directly to space-based energy units, much like the blockchain, a transparent ledger, innovative, and driven as an alternative to the current system known as fiat money. It certainly has a limited lifespan. These are not abstract ideas. They're all the financial architecture of the future where America leads. Now, I'd like to close by speaking directly to all of you, my YouTube audience, the people who tune in from across the United States, Europe, Asia, Africa, Latin America, and beyond. My goal as performing president in sharing this is to offer a clear, forward-looking framework that connects communication, strategy, yes, technology, and most importantly, national purpose in a way that empowers everyday citizens. And this channel has become a gathering place for some really great thinkers and military veterans, entrepreneurs, students, and people who simply care about the future, not just America's future, but the future of the world. So please understand that the future isn't something we inherit. It's really something we build, and something we build together. And those ideas we explore here are meant to give you the clarity and the confidence to navigate a really complex world right now, which is changing very, very fast. So if this vision resonates with you, I invite you to stay engaged, share these ideas, challenge them, refine them, and help carry them into our own communities and institutions. What we're doing here on YouTube is not entertainment, it's preparation. It's the early architecture of a movement centered on American leadership, human freedom, and the next frontier of civilization. So I thank you for your time, your seriousness, and your commitment to understanding the forces that will shape the century ahead. The work continues, and I'm honored as your performing president to be doing it with all of you. God bless you.